What's up everyone, welcome to Kaizu channel. Continuing with my last video of the EVA 2020 review, we'll be comparing the original EVA Unit 1, which you see on the left, that was released a year ago, with the recently released Unit 1 EVA 2020 edition on the right. In this video, we will go over what exactly is the similarity as well as the differences between the two. Also, we'll go through, if you have to choose between the two, which one is worth more getting. Alright, let's get started. Starting with the main body, the base mold is exactly the same. Even with the decals location, there's actually no differences that can be found physically aside from the paint job. Overall, the paint has an apparent difference with the original version that comes with a matte purple and a very light green and orange with it, which almost exactly the same to the anime. However, on the new version, it's actually replaced majority of the same location with different shades of metallic purple on different pieces, followed by a dark green and orange as well. Now the new ones actually looks incredible with the different metallic colors, which is a complete unique look. However, there's also actually some parts of it that's colored completely different, such as the top arm cover piece. There's actually now a green line on it on the new one, whereas the old one, that wasn't colored. The torso side piece is now white. It's actually this little line in the side torso piece, which is originally it's green, but now it's white. It's very little changes on this one. The waist side piece is now orange. As you can see, it was green on the original one, which personally, I kind of like it that it's orange on the waist now, on the new one. And there's a reason why, which I'll get to later. The decals on the thighs and legs are even less apparent to almost invisible on the new one, this is something that I don't really like, because on the original one, this actually stands out pretty well, but not to a point that it's too apparent. It's very subtle on the original. And in this one, it's actually really not apparent. It's hardly you can even see it unless you are in a bright light or looking at close up. So this is not a really good art on the decals. Last one is the ankle armor piece. Now on the new ones it's actually green, whereas on the original is orange. Now remember when I said that on the waist part it's now orange, which I like, it's because when you compare it to the original one, these two pieces colors actually flip each other. The original one has the waist piece, it's green, and the ankle armor it's orange. While on the new ones this is flipped. Now the reason why I like this really well on the new one is because the ankle armor green now matches the shoulder colored green, which now makes it a set. It's like arm and legs now, whereas the original one is like arms and then waist, which doesn't really fit in my opinion on the original one. So the new one actually looks a little better on that coloring. Aside from the colors, functionality wise, both of them is exactly the same. And even the issues are the same, such as the thigh parts that you can put in the weapon rack. Whenever you open it, it comes off. I have never been able to successfully open it without popping that whole entire cap off. So that's one. And the second thing is the shoulder piece, which always clash to each other. So you have to be very careful whenever you move it. And this is the same on the new one as well. So aside from those, they're pretty much the same. Moving on to the weapons. Aside from the Longinus spear, both of the weapons in terms of types are actually the same and only a repaint. Majority of them, as you can see in front of you, used to be dark gray, which is now on the new one, you can see it's light gray and then with a tone of blue into it. First off, it's the progressive knife. The progressive knife itself, the blade part, it actually looks very similar. If I didn't tell you, you probably think that they're actually both the same. However, on the original one, the blade part is actually a dark metallic gold, while on the new, it's actually one fine gold color, which looks really nice on the new one. As for the two katanas, the blade also is different. In the original one, it looks like it's a polished metal color, looks like it's actually a real blade or real knife that you have in the kitchen. But on the new one, it's actually a metallic color that looks unpolished. So I'm not too fond of the new blade on the EVA 2020 edition. As for the pellet rifle and all its add-on components like the long barrel, gun blade, and grenade parts, they're just basically the same thing, only with the light gray difference. Aside from that, they're pretty much the same. And as for the handgun, as you can see, both of them looks identical. If you mix them up together, you probably can't tell the difference between the two, so don't mix that up. The Longinus Spear is exclusively with the new edition, and probably the biggest real reason for you to get the EVA 2020 as well, since it doesn't come with the original one as much as everyone wanted that to happen. So some people do purchase the new one just so that they can get the Longinus Spear out format to put on the old one. Moving on to the base. Similar to the weapons, the base is also in light gray color on the new one, but the base design is different on the decals. In the original one, it says EVA 01 test type with a white 01 on it. And then you have these white and black strips right up in the front. As for the new ones, you basically have a standardized white lines for all the decals, and in the wordings you have Nerf, and underneath it you have God in his heavens, all's right with the world, which is the slogan they have for Nerf. And right in front of it, you have these striped lines, which you have similar onto the original one, but instead of red and black, you have the white and the base color. So the two is very similar, only the paint is different, and one additional accessory, which is the Longinus Spear, has on the new one. So right off the bat, you might think the new one prevails in terms of for its cost, but I have a personally different view on this. Now the EVA 2020 has undoubtedly an awesome repaint job for a model that's repaint only. Now why is that? It's that usually Bandai only replaces the original color with another color that's a little different tones to it and pushing it out. But here you can see that they actually spent an extra miles to put the metallic purple on two different tones on different pieces, so that creating an outstanding look. Also the Longinus Spear, I did not expect it to be this big. I was expecting to be a little bit shorter than it is, or if not the same height as the Unit 1, because I wasn't expecting them to make it as accurate as we've seen in the anime. However, they actually pulled this off, and they have done a really good job on making the Longinus Spear. So to my conclusion, which one to choose between the two, I actually have split it into two main categories, which is one, EVA fans, and two, non-EVA fans, mainly these two categories. So let's start off with the EVA fans category. So for EVA fans like myself, the matte purple on the Unit 1, on the original one, it's definitely accurate according to the anime. Not only that, but the base color, the green on the base, it actually goes according to the anime as well. But not only that, if you were to put it next to the Unit 2, or maybe even the Unit 0 that they may release later, then you'll have a matching color and you won't have an oddball out. In addition, the weapons that they have on the original ones, it's dark gray, making it look like a real weapons instead of some kind of toys or maybe weapons that you've seen in a video game. So if you are an EVA fan, and if you have already purchased the Unit 2, or even planning to collect all the metal builds ever, then I strongly recommend you to choose the original one instead of the EVA 2020 edition. Despite you won't have the Longinus Spear to play around with, the weapon that it came with itself is already sufficient for you to make multiple poses that's gonna be looking really awesome. As for the second category, the non-EVA fans, or I should put it, that are not deeply into the EVA or not planning to get the Unit 2 or anything else other than the Unit 1 itself, then this one's recommended for you. Since the paint job looks really good with the two tones of purples on it, as well as you have the big long Longinus Spear that you can play around with. Although I must say that I'm not too much fond of the light gray on the weapon because it really looks like less realistic of a weapon. It looks more like a toy to me, so I'm not too keen on the weapons repaint on that part. However, with the base, the same color that they did with the base, I actually do kind of like it because it gives you a new sense to the base and it looks really bright and sharp. And the logo itself, it's redesigned as well, so you don't get the same feel as you do on the original one, which I think it matches the metallic color on the EVA 2020 editions. But similar to the original EVA, if you were to place this EVA 2020 edition with the Unit 2, then it looks kind of awkward because the base itself, it's two different colors. So you have this oddball right here. But if you're not planning to display it with the display stand, then obviously you don't have much problem with this. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and find this video useful. And if you guys have any questions or comment, feel free to leave it in the comment section below and I will be happy to answer. Furthermore, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.